All right, here we go. Now, today we're doing the same thing we've been doing, okay, with synthetic division, except today we're going to use it to factor problems. Okay, so there's going to be some problems that you get. I'm just going to make one up just so you see what it looks like. Plus 4x squared minus 9x plus 7. Okay, maybe you have something like that. Okay, but when I group it, I don't get my two parentheses the same. You guys know what I'm talking about? Okay, because those two sets of parentheses have to be the same for us. Okay, in this case, it's not going to work out. Okay, but if they happen to tell you that k of x equals 0, okay, and then maybe they tell you that x is 7, okay, that tells me that one of my zeros to this problem is 7, right? Because I plug this in, I get 7 equals 0. You guys get what I'm saying? Okay, notice when I have something factored, what's one of my zeros? And my other one? Okay, those are my zeros. So what they're telling you is that this is a 0, meaning one of your factors is x minus 7. You guys get what I'm saying here? Okay, because they're telling you that that's one of your zeros. Well, that gives you one of your factors. So what we're going to do is, using synthetic division or substitution, we're going to plug this in and we're going to figure out what our other factor is. So we're going to be able to factor this in a different way. So basically we're learning a new way to factor. To do this, they have to tell you what one of your zeros is, though. If they don't tell you what one of your zeros is, you can't do this. Does that make sense to everybody? Okay. So the first example that we have here for this is they give us 2x cubed plus 11x squared plus 18x plus 9. And then they tell me that f of negative 3 equals 0. Which means if I were to plug in negative 3 for x, I'd get 0, right? Spencer, can you shut that door for me, please? Thanks, buddy. Okay. So first, let's just take this and let's see if we can factor this by grouping. Because factoring by grouping is probably going to be your easiest bet usually. Okay, well, when I group this, I can take out a what? X squared, and I end up with 2x plus 11. And this one I can take out a 9, and I get 2x plus... Yeah, see where my problem comes now? Okay, you can't factor this by grouping. Okay, because these are not the same. And when we factor by grouping, they have to be the same. Okay, so we need to back up. We're going to have to use our new way of factoring, using synthetic substitution or division. Okay. So one of my zeros is negative 3. So that means one of my factors has to be what? Has to be x plus 3. Okay. So we want to divide by this. Okay. So when you divide by something, it just means you're taking it out, right? 36 divided by 2 is 18. I divided it. Okay. I took it out. I broke it apart. Okay. So I'm going to take this. I'm going to set it up as synthetic division. 2, 11, 18, 9. And then what goes on the outside? 3. Negative 3. Okay. And before we solve this, let's think about this. If this is a 0, that means it divides evenly into it, right? Am I going to have a remainder? No. You guys remember the problems yesterday where you didn't have a remainder? Okay. Those problems were factorable. Okay. The ones with a remainder were not factorable. Okay. So now let's go ahead and do this. You bring down your 2. You get negative 6. You add and you get 5. You multiply, you add, you get You multiply, you get, and you get. Should you ever have anything but 0 if it's factorable? No. Okay? So, that means this is what? 2x squared plus 5x plus 3. Okay? That's one of my factors. What's my other one? X plus 3. Okay, so now I've broken something down. I've factored it when in the past we would have said it's not factorable. Okay, now you still need to double check. Is there anything that multiplies to 6 and adds to 5? 3 and 2, right? So we're going to go ahead and continue to factor this. So I have 2x squared plus 3x plus 2x plus 3. Group them. What can I take out of here? An x. And I'm left with what, Jack? 2x plus 3. What do I take out of this then? A 1. So I get 2x plus 3. Okay, Devin, what's my final factorization here? X plus 1. And 2x plus 3. And then I got to remember to put what? I got to also remember this other x plus 3. And then that would be your answer. That would be that problem factored. Okay, I know that's a lot, but really it's a lot of stuff that we've already done and we're just throwing it all together, right? Okay. The only new thing that you need to know is that if they tell you it's a 0, then it gives you one of your factors. Okay, so you just can't forget this factor in the very end. Just like I told you just previously, when you get to where you think you might be done, you need to double check everything again. Okay, because there's a pretty good chance that this is still going to be factorable. Okay, let's do another one here. Okay, another way they're going to word it is they're going to give you, I'm going to do one that's not in your book here, if I can find a good one. Podium's out of the way here today. Okay, so we're going to do x cubed plus 6x squared plus 3x minus 10. Okay, and the directions actually tell you this. They say 1, 0 of this is x equals negative 5. Okay, so instead of showing you as before where they said f of blank equals 0, they're literally just saying 1, 0 of this function or of this polynomial is x equals negative 5. Okay, so what is one of my factors out of this? X plus 5. So one of my factors is going to be x plus 5. Okay, which means, Lorelei, when I set this up in polynomial division, what goes on the outside? Negative 5. Good. Okay, and then let's fill these in. This turns into a what for my division? A 1, a 6, a 3, a negative 10. And this remainder should be 0. Okay. Now from here, nothing's really new for us, right? Bring down your 1. I get what? Negative 5, 1, negative 5, negative 2, positive 10, 0. Okay, that's good. Okay, go ahead and give me my factor now out of this. X squared plus x minus 2. Perfect. And then I also need x plus 5. Okay. And then Colton, we got to double check what? Okay, so can I factor this? No. can I factor this? Okay, Carissa, what multiplies to negative 2 and adds to positive 1? Which one's negative? Careful.
Oh,
negative 1, because it's got to add to positive 1, right? So then this factors to what, Carissa? X plus 2, x minus 1, yeah. Yep. You were getting there.
Yep.
No worries, we got it all on camera.
Oh, no.
Okay. And then don't forget your other factor of x plus 5. Okay. Now the whole world's going to know. It's on YouTube. Okay. Instead, they're going to find comedy. Questions on either of those styles? That's the only new stuff for today, guys. Okay, so that just adds another way for us to factor. Okay, so now we can factor just with our what multiplies to this adds to this. We can factor by changing it to grouping. We can factor by grouping. And then we have our difference of two squares, our difference of two cubes, our sum of two cubes, and now we have our synthetic substitution or division. We know everything. Okay? That's a good way to put it, Mitch. Okay? Any questions on that before I give you your assignment? Alright. What I want you guys to do is just add on to your previous assignment. We're going to add on 40 through 56 evens. (40 through 56 evens). Pardon? Right. Yep, there's actually 3 sections here, but 2 of the sections are what we just learned.